Hey everyone, I hope y'all are having a good long weekend, a Memorial Day weekend. Anyways, I wanted to share a thought process with y'all, just real quick. First, if you can like, share, subscribe, and comment on anything about what I mentioned in this short video, I'd appreciate it. But anyways, I wanted to talk about, savings, investing, and just basically discipline in general, and kind of how that relates with savings or investing. And I thought about it just real fast as I was getting on the highway that it's probably not the best idea. And let me first say that I'm not a financial advisor. This is I'm just a regular person. This is not financial advice, so maybe you should talk with a financial advisor or whatnot. But kind of what I gathered, and from my experience over the last couple years of holding a pretty good lump sum of money in cash, is that it's going to be inflated away, and it's just as good as it's paper at the end of the day. And it'd be good to invest it in some sort of manner, whether it's stocks or if you have enough to get into a house, if that's what you choose to do. Maybe more of like a secure, very stable, relative. But silver and gold. Maybe even possibly like food or security if that's your jam. No pun intended there. But is because just having money just laying around, maybe a little emergency fund or something like that if you need to get up and go is one thing. But if you're wanting to save and like think about like retirement or the idea of retirement, it's probably best to look into investing. And easy way would be like getting into stocks, just opening up a brokerage account and just starting there. But you can do small businesses for some actual like generate revenue, generating revenue, but that also takes your time unless you could set up something online that's not physically, I guess, or in a timely demanding way. But where discipline comes into play here is unless you're just making a bunch of money, $100,000 a year, or you're able to make $100,000 a year and live like, in a cheaper area, there's you gotta have, I guess what I'm saying is not depriving yourself, but you can't really invest and save if you're making, $100,000 and spending $90,000 or $100,000. You see what I'm saying? You gotta have disposable income. And so, like, if you're able to make $80,000 or $100,000 and live on, say, 40 or 50, then you got a good little extra chunk, after taxes to like move that money somewhere. And it's in that discipline is living very frugal and beneath your means, because it's kind of like how I look at it. I'm not in the best shape of my life. I was about 4 or 5 years ago, even better shape than in my 20s. But that being said, it's almost like when you want to eat that food and you don't want to go to the gym or something like that, because when you're like diet, it's a word thrown around, but the point is when you're in a diet with it's like a caloric deficit, you're literally starving yourself to lose weight. You're not not eating, but the point is you're eating minimal, or you're eating an amount that will not sustain that current body weight. That's why you feel hungry and you lose weight, because you're starving yourself a little bit each day, and that's how you lose weight over time. But that's not what this is about. the point of the video and me saying that is making small sacrifices each day. You know, I know people are like, oh, the whole coffee and toast or avocado toast thing that, you know, like it's thrown around on the internet that boomers say, you know. Part of it's true, part of it's not. I mean, yeah, things are getting expensive, but you got to start somewhere. And if that means sacrificing that $5 coffee and you know, $3 or $4 avocado toast, you know, that's what it is. I mean, if y'all look back at some of my older videos, I share with what I eat regularly. You know, I don't go out. Like I was just thinking, like I'm in North Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. FIFA, the World Cup's gonna be here. Tickets, I think, what I was told, the minimal, the lowest price ticket is like $800. That could be wrong, I'm not sure, but I'll just take that for what it is. $800. Like how many people? Of course, you know, if they're traveling all over the world, those people probably have some money. I mean, it's not just Americans here. But in reality, like for me and my comfort level, well, first of all, I'm not really into soccer like that. I'd watch a game if it was cheap, but $800, no way. No, not doing it. $800 to me is maybe like a flight to like for vacation and stuff like that, like out of country, or maybe more like an investment. But I'm not doing just you know, a couple games or a game or two or whatever, you know. But maybe, hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, how many people really do have that, and then how many people are barely maybe getting by and they're saving up for it, maybe putting this on the credit card, when in reality, you know, if they make that sacrifice, and I'm just using this as an example, if they make that sacrifice, the World Cup, that is, the FIFA game, or soccer, you know, if they don't go and they save that $800, well, guess what? That's something to start with. But people, you know, and I'm not saying to not go do things and have a life, but at the end of the day, like if you know, if you're not able to save money, you know, I mean, when do you, I mean, what are you relying on in the future? And I'm not saying to just like live in the future and not today, because that's what got me into trouble, is not staying present today. But it's like, why do people have insurance? Why do people go to college to try to get better jobs? Why do people, you know, so you do got to have like a vision or a goal for, like, you know, in the future, but not live there. But we also got to be realistic though, about, you know, what are you going to work till you're 70 or 80? I mean, I guess that's what, you know, the powers that be want us to do. Maybe even indirectly through inflation. It's like we're going to have to work to just keep up with the cost of living. But again, it's just about discipline and making small sacrifices each day. Now, if you got some extra money, you want to go out and have you know, go on a date or whatever and have, you know, a cup of coffee and a cookie or bread or something like that, or go to a little event here and there. I mean, that's one thing, you know. But it's also having an idea, a plan, a goal, and also trying to stick to that. Kind of like I mentioned, the whole working out thing. It's like, okay, I want to be this weight. I need to lose this much weight. I need to keep going to the gym, kind of maintaining muscle, you know, but I also got to stop eating, you know, X amount of stuff, or I got to start cutting this out because that's 200 calories right there. I mean, you know, so it's like, have an idea of where you're trying to go, where you're trying, you know, the plan to get there, looking at all these factors that are contributing to getting in the way of that goal, and then, you know, use the word slowly eliminating, but resolving those factors in a manner that you can reach this goal or idea. Because it's like, oh yeah, I want to be this weight, or I want to have this much money by the time I'm this age, you know, and then it's like, well, I'm still going out to eat, you know, I'm still, you know, and I'm not watching what I eat, and so I'm never going to reach that, you know, because it's hard to control some of these variables. I can't control what the government and the federal bank's gonna do, but I can control where I spend the money that I make and where I put it, and then what I do with my time, etc. But anyways, just wanted to make that quick video for y'all, and hopefully it's some motivation for y'all to just keep focused on y'all's goals. Maybe set some plans and goals, and really consider your time and efforts and where you want that energy to be reallocated to. But anyways, I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's Memorial Day weekend, and y'all stay safe, and I'll see y'all next time.